Hello there, Marley Tucker, Director of Development with United Way Emerald Coast, inviting you back for the next episode of Change Starts With You. Our guest today is Danica with Fish Window Cleaning. Danica, say hi to our listeners. Tell them a little bit about yourself, your role at Fish Window Cleaning, what you guys do, all that good stuff.
So thank you, Marley, for having me. Fish Window Cleaning is a franchise. We have about 270 locations across the nation, but I am the local owner of the Northwest Florida branch. So we service from Pensacola to Panama City, and we clean windows. Why is that important? Because when you're walking up to a business, a restaurant, or anything, clean windows not only helps you see inside, but it also provides that clean impression. Mm-hmm. So we believe that first impressions start here, and it is just one way that we're able to make sure that the Emerald Coast stays beautiful.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Now, we were just chatting before we went on air about kind of like the windy road that Danica took to get involved with United Way Emerald Coast. So I want to hear a little bit more about that.
So it happened actually through the Greater Fort Walton Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. I was at an ambassador meeting several years ago, and another team member from the United Way had come to help us with an event, and we were packing snack bags for the children. And one of the things that I loved during that process was we were writing little notes on cards. And my family will tell you that I'm pretty big about leaving notes for things and smiley faces and random I love yous throughout a notebook or something like that. So that was really cool to me. But through the presentation, Aubrey had shared with us about the mission here for our Emerald Coast United Way. And it just really struck me because it felt very authentic mm-hmm. about where the focus was and not just what you would hear in a presentation. Mm-hmm. So fast forward a little bit, I then was at a First Friday Coffee where I was announcing about Fish Window Cleaning being the official window cleaning company of the Greater Fort Walton Chamber of Commerce. And Kelly had reached out almost immediately after to say, hey, the United Way has windows and we'd love to get them cleaned. And so I came by and took a look at them and asked Kelly if we can have a meeting. And of course she said yes. She didn't really know what she was up for yet, but we went to Parlor Donuts, which is a fantastic location. And we were just chatting about the United Way, and she shared with me more about Alice and just her journey as she's come on to lead this Emerald Coast portion. And I just was so proud in that moment to have met the folks here with our branch. And I looked at her, I said, listen, I know that if you guys pay us for window cleaning services, then that's dollars not going back to some of these organizations that are doing amazing work. So here's what we're going to do. And that's when we first started our first leg of working with United Way, is we just found a very creative way to give back. And mm-hmm. so each month we make sure that the windows shine, because everyone that works there deserves to know that they're important and that they are proud. But everyone who comes there that's an organization that's getting support or an organization that's being represented through the United Way, they should all feel proud that there is attention to that detail mm-hmm. in those little moments.
Yeah, let me tell you, those windows do shine, and they never did before. That's for dang sure. When you're looking at a priority list, for us, the windows were pretty low. And so I remember when Kelly had that meeting with you and just like coming back and being like, wow, like, this is awesome. Like, look what we're going to be a professional business now. Like, we are official. We are having good first impressions. That is awesome. I love the way that you guys jumped in and just got super creative with how you could give back. The other thing that you said that I love is that first meeting when you did the kit build, that your favorite part was like writing the notes of encouragement. And that just tells you a lot about Danica as a person. I mean, if you don't see that beautiful smile and the look on her face, like, she's very encouraging. But also, like, most volunteers hate that part. Hate it. They struggle with writing words of encouragement. I mean, they have like one phrase and then they're like, I don't want to write it 50 times. Like, how do I say this differently? So to hear that comes so naturally to you is no surprise, but is also just a little testament to your personality and how you want to bring positivity everywhere you go.
I think it's really important that we take a moment to just help others shine, mm-hmm. and the best way to light a candle is with a flame.
Oh my gosh, look at you, like, throwing out like antidotes. Is that an antidote? Or is it a metaphor? I don't know. Whatever it is. I'm not an English teacher. Somebody else tell me what it is. Let me know in the comments. Either way, very powerful. So yeah, back to the creativity of the way that you found to give back and to partner with us here at United Way Emerald Coast. Of course, very thankful for that partnership. Definitely makes a difference. Like you said, that is money that we would be spending. And since we don't have to spend it, we can invest it into the community. And every dollar really, truly makes a difference when you're trying to serve people who really need it. So, fast forward from that meeting, then you got involved with Project Lead. You want to talk a little bit about Project Lead?
Yes. So when Project Lead got announced, I was like, I'm doing this. I don't care who I have to call. This is the one for me. I don't know what I have to pull, but I'm getting involved. And what stood out to me is that it was training to be on a nonprofit board. Well, first, I'm on my HOA board, and I could always use a little extra hand there. But just in general, to learn about what it would take to be on a board was really important to me. And the funny thing is, a friend of mine had just asked me in December before that announcement, what do you want in the new year? Like, do you want to be on any boards as a nonprofit? So we had been discussing that. And so when this opportunity came up, I was like, yes, all in. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So super excited to fill, to be part of it, fill out the application. But even then going through the process was, if you're ever looking to be on any type of board, really, but definitely a nonprofit, it really helps to put in a clear picture what your commitment is, because it's more than just a line on a piece of paper for your resume. There's an actual commitment there. There's going to be deliverable. There's going to be responsibility, and to hear from different folks through that process, but also just to experience the changes from the nonprofits that were part of the conversations too. Hands down, recommend it 110%. If you haven't filled out the application and it's still open, you should definitely make it a priority or put it on for next year.
Yeah, I think for us, that program, you were in our first inaugural class, so that's awesome. We find that there's a lot of people who want to get involved with nonprofits, whether it's starting their own nonprofit or serving on a board, who have a lot of passion. And don't get me wrong, like, that passion is really important. Like, it can be hard sometimes to be in a giving profession, to be in a giving volunteer role, and to feel like you're constantly pouring and maybe there's not a lot that's being poured back into you. So to have that passion keeps you going in those times when it's really tough, until you hear that amazing story that lights you right back up, fills your cup, and keeps you going for however long you keep going. But the passion is not always directly correlated with that experience. Not everyone always understands how to read financials. Not everyone understands what it means to be a board member and how you're actually responsible for the nonprofits that you're board members of, right?
And advocating for them.
Definitely. Like, you should be all into these opportunities. You should know the expectations, and you should be willing to give them if you're going to serve in those roles. So, of course, when the first Project Lead graduates graduated, we were like, so which one's going to go do some stuff with United Way Emerald Coast? And Danica was one of our recruits. And so she got to serve and is currently serving in a role with me where we work together on the Advisory Council. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about what the Advisory Council is, why you got involved, why it's important to you, that sort of thing.
The Advisory Council is great because it's kind of the conduit between businesses in the area to the United Way to support their giving adventures and to help them coordinate them. But also another part of being on this council is helping to get more businesses involved in different in a variety of ways. So being the chair this year has been an adventure, definitely a learning experience, getting better each month. But our goal is really supporting those individuals that are part of programs. One of my big kind of challenges is how many more small business owners can I get involved into the giving process in any type of creative way. Again, I just want to note, we started with cleaning windows. So there's just so many ways I don't know that we really stop to think about outside of just dollars. And as a small business owner, I get where sometimes if you're just doing dollars, it can be a hard decision on what's the right and easy thing to be able to move forward with.
But not a hard decision for you, because that's like the backbone of fish window cleaning, right? Like, it's in your mission statement. It's what you want to do here in the community.
Yes. Woven into our mission is to be positive community stewards. And our team understands that in order to be positive community stewards, we have to be giving back to our community. I'm a firm believer that if you are a business owner and you are not giving back to your community and supporting your community is not going to support you either. And it is a relationship. That's why it's called community. So we have to be taking those opportunities to just help where we can. And it can be something as easy as helping to deliver kits if we need an extra hand. And you have trucks and you have vans. It can be having a fun event where the United Way can benefit from the patrons and you're hosting. Or, sometimes in the nicest way, maybe it's not with the United Way. Maybe it is just with your community. We have a program called Friends of Fish where we invite our business owners who are clients of ours to put something in this bag that we deliver to our residential customers. My goal is if I can connect each business owner with one or two more new clients, then we're helping them keep their business continuing to grow because that word of mouth is going to travel. And so that is what it means for Fish and our team to be positive community stewards. And it's just part of what we will continue to push forward with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're United Way Emerald Coast, right? Like no one organization can do it alone. No one nonprofit can do it alone. No one small business can do it alone. We all have to work together united if we truly want to make a difference for the quality of life, for our citizens, our residents, and really make a difference here locally. We have to be united. So I love what you said there. And go ahead.
I'm going to interrupt real quick. That's actually what was my biggest draw to why I love working with United Way. I have seen presentations from different larger organizations before, and it feels very focused in their direction. But everyone I have talked to on this team, it is about the communities that we serve in Okaloosa and Walton County. And that it brings me so much pride to see how much effort goes into that, even if it doesn't go directly through that website or that chain of command. And that part it speaks volumes to me.
Oh, you're so sweet. That's why we put her on the podcast. I've loved serving alongside you on the advisory council, just the new and exciting ways that you've approached fundraising, getting businesses involved, and truly thinking about there's no gift that's too small. Right? Like $1 an hour, whatever you do, it's going to make a difference when you partner with United Way Emerald Coast. Part of that is because of those 60 plus nonprofits that we work with, right? The convener relationship that we have here in Okaloosa and Walton counties. So I know that's been something that you've focused on. Do you want to give a couple examples of things that we've done through the advisory council or we're working on that are just creative ways to continue to get businesses involved?
I think my favorite one right now is I love food. I love food so much. So Dine United, and our first announcement is with Chick-fil-A in the Okaloosa and Walton County areas, and we have several dates with them where if we order through the app, proceeds will come through the United Way. And how cool and how simple. Everybody can do that, and everybody can order something on one particular day and be able to contribute. Nothing's too small, and you get to have a fantastic meal. So that partnership I'm so proud of, and just really great to see that this team this year was able to bring that to light. Another great example is Regina Sammy is really part of the hospitality industry here, and she's serving this year on the council. So she has really helped us get into several different hotel and hospitality programs to demonstrate how donating toiletries or having different programs for tourists to be able to come and participate, because they love this area too. And as we are all growing together, they want to see our success just as much. So just even those two things, it just is pretty exciting. I know Marley and I just worked on Marley did most of the work, by the way.
I don't know if that's true.
Further Dine United program where, if you have a special drink, or if you want to have a special night, or you want to do a roundup program, the great thing is everyone loves to participate in something that gets a little bit extra when they're eating out. It's fun. And then you're getting to be part of this community, which is super cool. So there's some creative things there. If you don't do food, there's creative ways to do retail give backs. Like if you make products, think of how cool it would be to have a United Way soap that anybody who buys this particular soap or this particular shake or this particular whatever widget, it's just fun, and it's something that's part of everyday things that you do that can give back and make a difference, and at the very least create awareness. So
Definitely.
Even if a dime never comes out of it, we never know how far that ripple travels when we're starting to let people know about what our United Way here does.
Awesome. I just feel so lucky to have her as a volunteer and a partner with United Way Emerald Coast. As always, thank you so much for everything that you do in support of us and our mission in telling our story. As we kind of wrap this up, is there any final thoughts? What did we miss? Anything that you want to share with potential businesses, donors, volunteers, how they can get involved with United Way, something that's meaningful? What are your kind of final thoughts?
I think the best thing to remember goes back to the business owners. Remember that being involved is really important for your team too. So when we've had certain projects, my team comes back so fired up because they too love giving to our community and seeing how that grows. So just remember the benefits of serving your community. You can't number them. It's really important.
I like that you said you can't number them, right? Because you're benefiting the community, but also like as an employer, like that's benefiting your relationship with your employees. If they're having a good time at work, if they feel like they're making a difference, like they're going to stay with you. They're going to have loyalty with you as a business owner as well. So benefits are endless. You heard it here first. Get involved. Contact Danica or myself or anyone at the United Way Emerald Coast team. If you feel like you want to jump into whatever's next in this new season, we will happily customize anything that makes a meaningful difference and impact for you, your team, your family, your faith-based group, so on and so forth. It's endless, as Danica said. So thank you so much for joining us on the podcast here today. Thank you to our viewers for listening. That's all that we have, and see you on the next episode of Change Starts With You.